All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Friday webinar. This week's webinar is on keys to having an effective website. We are recording this. I've got a couple people that have messaged me and told me they couldn't be on this morning, so we'll be getting that out to them. And we would like to the topic for today is the keys to an effective website. I invited Tyler Krupp. He's the CEO of Krupp Incorporated, a company here in Idaho Falls that does websites. Tyler recently updated our website at the Idaho Innovation Center and has just very impressed with the work that he's done. And so I asked him to present today on this topic. And so without further ado, I will turn the time over to Tyler. If we could go probably 20-25 minutes, Tyler, and then open it up at the end for some questions. But I'll turn the time over to you.
Okay, perfect. One more last audio check. Can you hear me all right?
Yep, everything sounds good.
Perfect, perfect. It's always, these webinars are always fun because you kind of put yourself in a corner and you feel like you're kind of talking to yourself. So let me know if anything breaks out. But yeah, welcome everybody. I'm excited to talk a little bit today about the keys and characteristics of any effective website. When we have these webinars, and you probably talk to fellow web designers or graphic designers, a lot of the time, a lot of designers will probably spill web jargon to you and even talk about some complex development terms or design terms that you may not necessarily understand as a small business owner. So today's presentation is really going to be just a overall discussion on some of the must-haves of a successful website, not necessarily getting into the development techniques or the kind of logic behind the aspects, but more just some common sense characteristics of, as a small business owner, what you should have on your small business website to lead you to success. But before we get into that for a few minutes, I just wanted to talk a little bit about my background. As Brian mentioned, I'm the CEO and founder of Krupp Incorporated. We're an award-winning web and graphic design consultancy firm located in downtown Idaho Falls. I started Krupp Incorporated as just kind of a freelancer consulting side business when I was 16, actually. Right when I started learning how to program and design websites in high school, I started with a few miscellaneous freelance contracts. I grew the business kind of as a full-time consultancy as I worked my way through college. I graduated with a Bachelor's of Science from the Art Institute in Salt Lake City, Utah. Simultaneously, during my senior year, I also took a graduate class and earned my certificate from the University of Stanford in their technology entrepreneurship course. So learning the ins and outs of how to create a minimum viable product and really get your web idea out to the masses and see if you can scale and while utilizing online technology. Another point, just to kind of reinforce kind of the expertise factor, I am a Greater Idaho Falls Chamber of Commerce Distinguished Under 40 Award winner. I think I still hold the record for youngest award winner. I won that when I was 22. And finally, from the Idaho Falls Advertising Federation, Krupp Inc. is a multiple Best in Show award winner, as well as a 6-time winner through the years for advertising excellence. So with that, let's get into some of the key tips that I'd like to recommend to you as a small business owner. A couple introductory facts about web design. A lot of this stuff as a small business owner is really kind of common sense and obvious, but you'd be surprised at how many companies, when they are redesigning their website or first starting to build their web presence online, don't remember these common facts. The biggest thing to realize with web design and your website is that it's really just a touch point and extension of your already established company brand and personality. So at some point you need to take into consideration the development techniques that you want to implement and really see if that falls in line with who your target demographic and customer is. Same goes with branding your business card. Same goes with your email signature. Any particular touch point that you might utilize with your company, always remember and keep your target demographic in mind. Another fact that we kind of tell our clients, you'll probably notice this Google presentation is very simple and minimal. White background, black text, simple to easy and easy to understand images and text. We do that on purpose because we feel that our really unique key differentiator in the web design industry is our ability to simplify and reduce to the kind of flatline state of a business. There's a lot of creative designers, web designers, graphic designers, any kind of designer that may overload information just to try to promote their, kind of show off their design chops. We've taken the opposite approach, where we feel that we understand businesses so well, and we do our research before implementing design and development techniques that we can reduce all of those to the simplest state. So we kind of convey that with our brand perception. You can probably see the Crop Inc. logo in the bottom right-hand corner of the presentation. We specifically bolded the incorporated to show that we make that direct relation to corporations, small businesses, government entities, and startup companies. We really focus on the sole goal and mission value. But with that, a few quick web design facts that your website should have no matter what, and you should always keep in mind whether it's a new website or a website redesign. The first fact is that usability and utility determines the success of your website, not necessarily design. Getting that out of the way immediately, always remember what your target demographic needs for usable elements and utility to find what they need rather than making it look pretty. If your potential clients find what they need immediately, you're going to have a higher conversion rate and lower bounce rate as opposed to spending countless hours on unnecessary design elements. A next tactic is that users always appreciate quality and credibility. If you can convey your brand as credible and qualified in terms of the user experience, if you're paying enough attention to the overall user experience of your website, businesses can convey the idea of good customer service, right? Because if you pay attention to how a user navigates through your website, you probably pay attention to the invoices you send, to the emails you send, to the meetings you schedule, and even the actual customer service touch points of whatever your business service or product may be. Another point, users don't read, they scan, so make sure you spend enough time on your content, but always remember to reduce until you get the message across. Don't underestimate the impact of a two-sentence mission statement. Get your point across and make it evident. The next thing to remember is that your users and all users probably won't make the optimal choices of experienced user design. There's 100 different ways to get to the Contact Us page, so make sure that you design around that 100 different ways so that users can find your information. And like I said before, the ultimate success through design in our eyes is through reduction and ultimate simplification. Don't overcomplicate things when you are designing a website, and that sentence can probably extend to all of your business practices and philosophies. Don't overcomplicate things. So with that, tip one, key one to an effective website is a logical roadmap. Don't underestimate the power of pre-planning before you actually get into design concepts. In this day and age, most of you probably already have a website or are just barely starting your business, so you're going to start designing and developing a website, hiring a company to do that. Don't underestimate the planning of a sitemap. The necessity, like I listed here, the necessity to wireframe and create a sitemap for your website will not only pay dividends for your user experience, but it'll pay dividends to your SEO. And when small business owners search the term SEO, they probably think it's this kind of cloud of nebulous of how do we get to rank high within Google and have our business show up. And what we always tell our clients is just take a logical approach. The Google algorithm is much more intuitive and analytical than you probably think. So don't overestimate pre-planning and how a user can navigate through your website. Your site links, titles, and flow should all be logical and intuitive, or face the fact that you will lose conversions and the ability for a user to find your contact information. So for instance, an About Us page should be listed as an About Us page. You don't have to be overly complicated and name that something that Google algorithm or even your user wouldn't understand. As this image portrays on your sitemap, you know, always list your About Us, always list your services, your contact information. Once again, don't overcomplicate things. And the last point for that first key is really don't make your users hunt for information, because once they start having to hunt for your service offerings or your product pricing or your contact information, they don't have the patience to actually go hunting. So you've already lost that conversion and will have to you know, fight with your competition. So if your competition does that better and they can find the information they need with, you know, 5 seconds, 7 seconds, then you've lost that sale. So the next key with this kind of interesting and clever header image is your crucial business information. The biggest key, I'd say this is the biggest key to an effective website: the ability to portray your business information in the least amount of words and the simplest form possible. Let's take this case study for example. This is a company, an online e-commerce store. They're actually called Cat Scarf. And so right immediately when you land on their homepage, you can immediately tell exactly what they sell. You can get an idea of what their brand standards are, and there's a big simple button that says Shop Now. It doesn't really get much simpler than that. The ability to portray to the user that their business name is Cat Scarf, and they put a picture with a cat scarf with a big button of Shop Now. That is the only thing that's on their homepage. They don't have anything about the quality of the product. They don't have anything about the pricing. That is going to drive conversions because it's a simple and elegant way to portray the brand, as well as a definitive call to action of actually shopping. Then you can see the main navigation elements is shop, obviously to purchase a product, about, learn more about the company and the product, thoughts, probably their curated blog, and obviously a contact us page. So with that, a couple tips on your crucial business information is really when you're designing a website or developing a website, build the website you need, not necessarily the website you want. Always keep your target demographic in mind, because what they want may not necessarily be what you want. Obviously, you have your business, you have the characteristics and the understanding of your business better than anybody else, but always remember your target demographic. If they shop on their mobile phone, or if they're learning about your services on their mobile phone, but you don't necessarily use your smartphone, you should obviously have a mobile-friendly website. Next point, like I covered earlier, really keep your mission statement to a minimum. Write it so people can skim, and don't underestimate brevity. Always be able to reduce until you can get to the final state of pure simplification and understanding. And the last point, keep it simple and don't underestimate the power of simplicity. It will be better for you and will actually intrigue your user to surf the web rather than finding the information they need, seeing that they're not interested in going somewhere else. Alrighty, the next tip, tip 3 to an effective website is the importance of displaying your contact information. Obviously, you're going to have your Contact Us page on your website, but you should always have your contact information on the footer of your website so that every single page that a user goes to, they can find immediately how to contact you. Because obviously the point of a website is to increase conversions, increase sales, and have people that are interested in your product or services contact you. So always have that on the footer of your website and on a contact page on your website. So as you can see here from the screenshots that I took, this is an example in this green. This is an example of a website that has their footer information, of their direct phone number, their email address, and how to connect socially, as well as a contact form. On your website, you should have multiple ways that a user can contact you and not just one necessarily curated way for a user to contact you, because not everybody is the same. For example, younger customers, younger consumers are probably going to contact you through social media channels or maybe even email. They may potentially send a message request with a contact form on a website, but if your demographic is a younger demographic, they're probably not going to call you. So once again, it goes back to the understanding of understand your target demographic and design to what they need, not necessarily what you want. The second screenshot here is the Google results for web design companies in Idaho Falls. And what you can see by putting contact information, obviously there's countless algorithm techniques that go into this map search, but one of the biggest ranking factors that Google has, and the biggest thing that small business owners don't understand, is that map listings are not the same as organic SEO. Map listings are the ability for a user to search, restaurants in Idaho Falls and see the map results, comparative to when they search restaurants in Idaho Falls and they see like the top 10 links on Google. So the ability to show up in those map results comes from Google being able to index your website and them making the assessment that you have an intuitive approach, that the customer gets what they need when they visit your website, and that they can find contact information quickly and easily to contact the business. On top of that, there's a couple other algorithms like reviews and making sure that all of your social media elements are working properly and curated. But as you can see, by just putting the contact information, you're going to have a huge boost in your Google local map traffic. Alrighty, tip number 4. So the biggest thing that's coming out in this kind of generation and the web trends of the year is more and more shoppers and people visiting online websites are doing it through their tablets and their mobile devices. So I would stress the importance of making sure that the new website you're designing or the website that you currently have is mobile ready and compatible with all devices. As it says here on the slide, 70% of task completion happens within 1 hour on mobile sites. So if somebody visits your website on a mobile device, they're more than likely ready to make a purchase, contact you, or surf more in depth about your services and products. Comparative to when they're browsing on a desktop, they might just be browsing, they might be price hunting, or doing some competitive research. So I can't stress enough the importance of having a mobile-friendly website. Make sure that your website looks good on all devices and that the user experience is just as seamless on somebody's iPhone as it is on their browser on their computer. A secondary stat that's pretty interesting is that there are countless small business owners that aren't taking advantage of the mobile-friendly and mobile-ready generation of 2016. That last stat there says that out of everybody that surfs online, only 15% of web users are satisfied with the mobile experience. So if you can really excel and kick butt at your mobile website strategy, you're going to see much more higher conversions than the other small business competitor that you're competing against. I'd say that 15% makes up probably the big mega sites on the internet, your Facebooks and your Googles, because they've invested and spent so much time on the mobile segment and strategy. So don't ever underestimate the mobile trends that are happening in the web right now, as they're just going to continue to grow and increase. And at some point, people will be making, 5-digit, 6-digit purchases on their tablet device just because it's easier to do than a traditional screen. So last tip, this one's kind of wrapping up the presentation a little bit, is always have an FAQ section. I think this goes back more towards customer service and user experience, not necessarily hardcore development tactics that we were talking about, but the ability to have an FAQ section on your website shows that you're actually listening to your customers, you're gathering insight from your previous customers, and pre-answering those questions for your new customers. And there's really no better way to convey good, appropriate, high-quality customer service then the ability for you to analyze your previous customers' experiences, their frequently asked questions and most common discussion points, and being able to give those resources to new and potential clients and customers that come to your website. Like this interesting cartoon that I posted here, this guy goes to the top of the mountain to talk to the all-knowing individual, and he says, the meaning of life is like the first thing on the FAQ page of our website. You could have avoided the entire trek, contacted us, and got what you need without even having to climb this entire mountain.
That is awesome.
So, yeah, that's just the ability to convey to your user that you have their best interest in mind. You want to make their experience as simple and easy as possible, and reduce until ultimate simplification. So with that, I'm going to give you one extra tip, a quick fire tip before we get into the questions, is always remember the actual features you don't need. So this is a quick fire guide to, if you have a website right now, or if you are planning on designing a website, here are a couple things that should definitely not be on your website. The first and foremost is music. Absolutely kills conversion. So when a user comes to your website, the first thing they shouldn't be hearing is background elevator music. That's 1990s design technique and will kill your conversions and probably your online business. The second thing is Adobe Flash. If you have any animation or action on your website that's designed and developed with Adobe Flash, that technology is becoming antiquated and dead, so that will kill your mobile design as well as your conversion ratio. Third thing is that you should never have anything that auto plays, whether that's music or an embedded YouTube video. That kills user experience, and you'll see a higher bounce rate because of that. And last but not least, any extra information, ads, sidebars, all of this crap that will just bog down the user experience, as well as actually slow down the page's loading time. So just make it nimble, simple, get to the point, reduction, use beautiful imagery, and really convey your business as simply as you can. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up with one last thing. Like I've kind of been relaying this whole time, our tagline here at Crop Inc. is good design is good business. And a case in point here is the image on the left-hand side. It says everything looks official with tiny leaves around it. And that is actually not true, because the image on the right is false. It only works if you use a good font. So always take time to put everything together, and don't assume that your target demographic knows everything about your business, and be able to perceive your information in as little amount as possible will lead you to success and is the ultimate key to an effective website. So that's my presentation and spiel, and I'll kind of send it back to you, Brian, and open it up to any questions you guys have.
Awesome presentation. Absolutely great information here. A question that I had, and we went through this as we designed ours, is photos. What photos can you use? Is it legal to take pictures off the Google Images, or is it best to, I mean, we ended up buying some, what's the rules and rightness of copywriting photos and stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. So the common industry practice is you can use Google search images if it's for educational purposes. So equivalent to the presentation I just gave, you can use those images if you're using them for educational purposes. But any photo that you use for commercial purposes or to drive actionable kind of sales from your business, those need to be high quality stock photography or in-house taken photos. A couple of resources I would recommend is Shutterstock.com and Shutterfly.com. And those images, you can purchase a pack of images and really give your brand that kind of high profile, refined look. As we look at this Idaho Innovation Center website, you can really tell that you guys took the time to pick out some high professional images, and it contrasts to the other incubators in town, so it automatically separates you from your competition. So it's a no-brainer with the additional costs.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, the pictures that I had sent to have designed on here were, I mean, and Tyler talked me into getting these, and I think that the price on these, you know, I think all the pictures that we had totally were less than $100. So I think that's a good thing. And you can see the quality of it there's quite a bit better. Any other questions from any of our attendees today? Not everybody has microphones.
That I have to have a few.
Any questions for Tyler? Awesome. Well, we appreciate your time, Tyler. I would encourage people to go to his website, see the work that he's done. Very contemporary, very professional. I can tell you just from my own personal experience, I'll put a little plug in here for Tyler in the fact that in the websites that I've done before, I've ended up doing what I felt was 90% of the design work, and with Tyler, he did his company did 90% of the work, and I did 10% of just checking it to see to make sure that it worked good. So, and I can tell you that he's in the leading edge of what things are available to here in Eastern Idaho. And as I've changed a lot of my personal online work to a tablet, and I can tell you that it's frustrating when you go to a site that doesn't adjust to the size of the screen, whether it's on my phone or on a tablet or on my desktop. You can tell the difference of a site that's done right. So good deal. Any questions in the last minute? Brittany says thank you, and awesome. We got in right as the clock ticked over to 10:30. Our goal is to keep them all under 30 minutes. So appreciate your time, Tyler. Great job, and have a great weekend, everybody. Next week's presentation will be on hiring right and firing timely. So if your company has employees, you should be on next week. We've got a great speaker that will be talking to us about the secrets of making sure that your company is hiring right and firing timely. Kind of a key thing if you're going to grow your business in this day and age of 2016. So looking forward to that. The week after that is the ins and outs of Google. Going to be a great presentation by a lady that I went to a presentation out of Boise on how to make sure that you're doing the right things to get placement on Google. So looking forward to that one. That one's on July 8th. So have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for your participation.
Thank you, guys. See you later.